Welcome to the EarlyON. We offer programs for families and children 0 to 6 years of age. Hello everybody, my name is Maria, and today we're going to do a cooking activity. We have ice cream cone treats to make today, and basically what it is like a Rice Krispie square in a ball that we put into a cone, and it's just a fun summer treat kind of thing. So that's what we're going to do today. So the first thing we need to do is start with our marshmallows, and so we're going to do marshmallows and butter, and we're going to add it to the bowl here, and we're going to microwave that for approximately 30 seconds, maybe a little bit more on high heat, and until it's melted. So I'm just going to put this in the microwave. So while that's melting, if you're doing this with your kids, you could talk about the marshmallows and how fun they are. Maybe pop a few in and taste a few. And that part is melting the marshmallows. The next step we're going to do is add Rice Krispies to the bowl and mix that up. And then you put it in a ball with your hands. We're going to mold it into a ball and put it on our cones. I do have some cones here already made, but we'll talk about those in a minute because the marshmallows are just about done. Okay, I've got my marshmallows and they are melted. I'm going to mix that up. I'm going to pour in the Rice Krispies and mix that up. And when you're making this with kids, doing it in the microwave is a really simple way to do it with kids because you're not using a hot pan on the stove. This bowl is still fairly cool. The kids could help you every step of the way, just mixing and looking at the marshmallows when they're melted and then adding the Rice Krispies. Now I did make some of these yesterday. I tested out the recipe, and what I found was when I mixed it to this point, it was better if this mixture was a little bit cold. So I'm just going to stir it up a bit. I felt that it stuck together better when it was a little bit cool. So I'm just going to put this in the fridge for a few minutes. Okay, and while that's cooling off, I'm going to melt my chocolate because we're going to dip the cones into melted chocolate. So I'm going to melt this. So I'm melting that on lower temperature, obviously, but thing about chocolate is when you're melting chocolate, some people melt it over a bowl of boiling water on the stove, or you can melt it in the microwave. But if you over melt it, if it gets overheated, then chocolate will seize up and you won't have the right consistency it won't be melted. It'll just be like hard chunks of chocolate that will never melt again. So you just have to keep an eye on it. Make sure that you don't cook it over a high temperature. It has to be over a low temperature, and then it should be good. So when they come out, when the chocolate comes out, we're going to dip these into the melted chocolate. And here I have some that I made yesterday. And I also found with making these yesterday, they needed to be, because it's summertime right now and it's pretty humid, I had to put these in the fridge for them to set because it was taking a long time for them to set outside of the fridge. So just beware of that when you're cooking, doing this with your kids. All right, I'm going to go check that out and see how it's doing. Okay, it's just about ready. Still needs a little bit more time. You can also melt it when you're melting the chocolate. You can also add like a little bit of coconut oil or a little bit of butter to it just to make it a little bit smoother. But then just make sure that you put it in the fridge to set the chocolate. Okay, I think I have enough that I could dip some chocolate here. So you're just going to take this, run it around the bowl like this. There you go. Do that to all three of them that I have here. This is the fun part for the kids too. This is pretty easy. Running this around the bowl, getting some chocolate all the way around. And if you don't have chocolate, you don't really have to do this part. It just kind of adds another layer to the flavor, and it kind of makes it look pretty. Okay, so I've got 3 there. But I also have 5 here that I have cooled from yesterday. So I'm going to go get the Rice Krispies, see if they're cool enough. We'll give it a try. Okay, so I have butter here. I'm going to rub my hands with butter. You don't want the marshmallows sticking to your hands because that's what will happen. Alrighty. And you're just gonna put it in a ball. Still a touch soft, but I think I can make it in, I think I can put it in a ball. Like I said, you really want to cool this a little bit before you put it in to the cone. Okay, so I've got that one. All right, I'm just going to wash my hands because I want to show you what to do, what the next step is. After you've made your ball of Rice Krispie and you put it in the cone, we're going to dip it in sprinkles. I have different colored sugar here, I have sprinkles, I have a mixture of things here. You can use whatever you have around the house or whatever kind of sprinkles you like. And then it just makes the ice cream look pretty. Anyway, I'm gonna grab some because I have some already made. So here they are here. Quick and easy, the kids can just grab them and go. You might want to set them in the fridge for a little bit before they eat them, but that's them there. It was really simple, really easy, and kind of a fun little activity that you could do with your kids. Thank you for joining us today.